Hello and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial video. And in this video, I want to show you how you can basically create a dashboard like this. So this dashboard, the project management dashboard, is something what I created in Tableau, I think yesterday, and uploaded on YouTube so that you can go and view that. And link is also present in description. And then if let's say you want to convert this dashboard from Tableau to Power BI, then how we can do that step by step is also I want to show you something in this video. And this dashboard inspiration is coming from dashboard like this. So you have Isabel as a designer who has created this dashboard design, and I really liked it. And I thought first, let's say we can convert it in Tableau, and then once I converted it into the Tableau, I felt like let's do it in Power BI. So first I did it in Tableau, and now let's try to do this in Power BI. So what's going on over here is this background over here, which basically helps us create an impact. And this background is something what I created in the PowerPoint. So first thing first, let me show you that. In Tableau video also I've shown you that, but let me just quickly show you again in this Power BI. Okay, so here we have the blank canvas. So what do we need to do is just remove everything that is present over here. And then we will start creating it, the shape. And the shape creation is quite straightforward. As you can see, there is just this particular box what we need, and we just align it. Okay, once we have this, what do we need? We basically need right click, format shape, and this will come in the fill. We need gradient fill. We need this gradient, and type is linear. Direction, what we need is like this, right? This was dark, this is light. And then you can adjust it up until what point, how much dark you need, as you can see, right? So I think this much is fine. Once we have this, we just make sure that the border is not showing you anything. So over here, and this is effects, this is size, but outline, not text outline, but in shape outline, yeah, there you go, shape outline, no outline, so that way there is no black color. Once you have done that, just come over here in file and simply say export, and change file type, PNG, save, and save the background, maybe BG, right? Put it in download and save it. Just this slide. Okay, there I already have BG1 as a background, so either one we can use it. Once we have done that, we can come to Power BI. Well, in Power BI I have already loaded this piece or loaded the background. So the way I have done that is simply by going over here, canvas background and image. In the image you need to choose the browse. For example, if I just remove this, browse is coming. So this one I just created in front of you, so I can double click over here and this image is now present here. So the one which I had it earlier was having slightly grayish background, if you could see, right? And before I move ahead, just a very quick information that if I move to this Power BI sheet, so what I do is I keep all of my Power BI videos over here. So if you are very first time landing on my channel, then you should know that this is where I keep. So I will call it project management dashboard, right? And the link I will put it once it is published. So come to this sheet, which is also link is present in description, and get access to all of my videos. All right, let's move ahead to Power BI. So here we are in Power BI. Okay, and in Power BI we have this background which is already there. Just make sure that if it is not appearing, one of the reason can be that your transparency is 100%. By default, that's how Power BI keeps it. But if you want to keep it 0%, if you move it to 0%, then only this will appear. Otherwise, it will be 100% transparent. So let's. So this is the step number one, that we have this. Now the step number 2 is that we start building what we need. I mean the visuals that we are having in this file or over here. So over here the KPI is something like where we have the project related information. So KPIs is like on hold, planned, completed, in progress. So this basically shows the project and their budget and the utilization. Like 121% is utilized, that means they have gone beyond. Similarly over here, and plan shows 0. Okay, so this is on KPI and this shows the count of project, right? This shows how much project is completed and cancelled. So green indicate the project completed, cancelled is highlighted with red. Then down below it shows the budget utilization by project type. So you have different project types like borehole, building construction, rehabilitation, road construction, so on and so forth. What is the actual budget, actual expense, and then what is the utilization, right? Similarly, we are going further down, showing the project details like what is the project name, project manager, progress, budget, expense, and utilization. So that way, from the highest level to the lowest level of information we can view, right? And you can select any of the project manager that you need. For example, let's say we want Dave's information over here. So we can select Dave and all of our visuals will be changed accordingly. We want, let's say, Emma Expo, we can get her and uncheck Dave and this will show the information. So I'll just make sure I select everything. And that way it becomes quite intuitive by looking at each project manager's space. If let's say you are the owner and you want to look at each project manager's space, what projects are running, what is the budget, how much utilization they have done by KPIs, and then detailed tables, you can do that in one single section. So that is something what I feel is useful for or what I really like is the design which is created over here by Isabella, and I thought let's try to put it into dashboard. So this dashboard is in Tableau, and what we are doing is we are creating it in the Power BI. So here we are in the Power BI. Let's connect to the data. So in the connect data, the file is text CSV, and where is that? In Power BI, I have the project management dashboard. So project management data. Now the question is from where you can get the data, right? So over here, if you see, this is based on telemeter, but you have the budget country in the not in the column, but over here as data. So we want to make sure that we are transforming this data and using the first row as headers. As you can see, a clear indication over here. Use first row as headers, and then we can see this. Another thing we will do quickly is, if you see budget over here is coming as text. So the problem is that you have the $sign. So right click, replace values. What do you do is replace dollar with nothing and click OK. And now you change this to whole number over here, right? Date is fine, expense is fine, right? And then we will see plan date is fine. So this is a small check that we need to do. Start date, not good, right? So this is something we need to correct it. And if you see, this is MMDDYY. So this is United States format. So we're using the use locale. You basically need to move that or correct this. So type is date and this will be English United States, right? And click OK. So you get the start date as well. So you need just make sure that in your real data you validate some of the dates, right? So that everything what you are expecting is coming fine. Sometimes it happens, it does the weird things like mixing up the dates and things like those. Just make sure you validate this. This is percentage complete and this is priority, which is fine. Now I can close and apply, and then in few seconds it will plan. While it is doing it, I will show you from where you can get the data, and for that what I'll do is I'll come over here, and in the dashboard I'll show you in my drive. So drive, I give the dataset link, this folder link with usually what I give, and over there what you have is datasets, basically this particular file, datasets, and in the datasets you will find the link for all of my sheets, most of the sheets which I use, not if not all, most of these sheets which I use, and then over here project management is present. Okay, so let's come back to Power BI. We have the project management data, right? Now, if I go back to this, you can see that we need to first create the KPIs like budget, planned, in progress, and completed, these type of KPIs. And this KPI, we can create it with the help of card over here. And what you have is the budget. If I keep the budget, you can see the overall budget which is coming. So, but this budget is based on these categories like on hold, planned, completed, and in progress. So first thing first is what I'll do is I will say this, and I have the status field. Status field, I will put it on this visual, and I will say on hold, right? 40K. Or what we can do is, if you need the entire value, what we can do is we can put it out, and we will say none, display units, none, right? 39775, I believe that is what we had it over there as well. 32750 is basically the value for on hold, and nothing is selected. So let's come back to Power BI, some of this budget on hold. So this is on hold, and same way we will going to create the KPI. So not really sure, is it like during the transformation something may have happened, but I just want to show you this, the way we need to create the visualization. The way you can check the data is always by going to your raw data. So our raw data is in the, let me bring that up. So this is where we have the project management data. So let's bring that up, and let me see what exactly is the budget value is. So if you see, this is your budget value, and this will also come as count. So Tableau is, I think, smart enough to interpret this correctly, but for Power BI and even for this, we have to basically produce this. So I'll copy and paste separately, and Control H. What we will do is dollar, we will replace all, and we will see what exactly the value that we are having for budget, just so that. So this is how you usually do the validation. I'll just do the validation in front of you on hold and click OK. So when you filter this, let's say by on hold, you see that the budget is 39775. So that means the value that we are getting is right. Maybe something is happening in the Tableau. That's why probably it is not showing. So at least value is coming is fine. Now I just make sure that in the general background is not there. So I remove the background, right? And I keep the color white. So we have the value, and this much white should be fine. And over here we will call it what? On hold. So what it will do is it will bring on hold over here, and label, in the formatting label, in the color, we will choose this color maybe. No, I think the whitest color, this one is fine. On hold. So this is good, at least to start with. And if I just move this up, yeah. And what we can do is we can put a text over here, text box, and we will say KPIs, or we can say project status KPI. That is much, project status KPI. And project status KPI is 16, and I guess that should be fine. I'll move that up, and I'll move that up somewhere here, right? The next thing we may want to do is we want to go in the effects and we uncheck this project status KPI. Also, I think I want to make it a little bit bold. Project status KPI doesn't look really good, so I will just uncheck that. Maybe this much is fine. Okay, so at least with this, it has come. All right, project status KPI, Control C, Control V. Again, Control C, Control V. We will put it over here, and then Control C, Control V. We'll put it here. Okay, so we have 4 KPIs. So if I just view that, hold, planned, completed, in progress. So hold, and we'll come over here and we will say planned, and this, let's say we call it in progress, and we call this what? Completed, right? So this one is what? Planned, right? So we'll go here, we'll double click, and we will say planned. This one is in progress, so we'll double click here and we will say in progress, and this one is what? Completed, so we will say completed, and we will just move this up a little bit. So that's how each of this information is coming. If you want, you can move this up a little or move them away a little bit so that there is a proper space. Okay, so we have this information. Now another information which is also going over here is the budget utilization, which is based on budget and expense. So if you see, what I'll do is I'll create one DAX calculation, new measure, by clicking on new measure, and that will be budget utilization, and this will basically have sum of expense divided by sum of budget. Once you have done that, it will basically then again it's all about putting it out over there. So we have this, and rather than this, what we are saying is this, not percentage complete, sorry, budget utilization, this one, and then we will just make sure this is percentage, and we will just make sure that we keep it like this. So status is on hold, so this is good. So what I'll do is I don't want to show category label because we are already viewing that, and I just want 15%, sorry, the 15 font value, right? So that if it is coming here, for which I think I need to put it a little bit on the right side, then over here, same way, let me just move it a little bit here, move this also here, move this also here. Okay, yep, so that way we have the 82% over here. Control C, Control V, again same thing, Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V. Okay, let's do this. Alignment should be proper. So now we have this. What do we need to do is we need to come over here and say planned. We need to come over here and say in progress, right? and we need to come over here and say completed, right? So that basically shows project status KPI with the budget utilization. The only thing is after this you have this indicator which is sort of a line over here. So you can do that by adding a line. So in insert shape images, we have this image, right? Let's go to the shape, rotate, shape rotation what 90, right? Style, we have border, and let's make it what this. Yep, let's move this up and try and see if it is making sense. Okay, Power BI have this little bit weird way of behaving sometimes. Yep, Control C, Control V. I can move this up here. Control V. Yeah, Control C, Control V. Okay, I'll just move it toward here. So these are all the small alignments, is something what we have to just make sure that we do to make it perfect. Okay, once we have this, there is this one line over here as well. So we can create one, or let's take this line only. Control C, Control V, and rotation. Let's keep it 0. In the 0, then we just need to make sure shape is there. I think this is fine. This much line is probably what we need just to create a breakup, and we can, in the border, we can set the transparency to 50% just so that it is very light, right? So that way it will feel like it is part of the visualization and it is breaking it up. You can create one line over here, but I feel like it will be too many lines. So that's one. Then what I'll do is I'll Control C, Control V, because I need to create one line over here as well. So what I'll do is in the rotation, I will say 90. And we will move this up. And I'll drag this toward here. Drag this also here. Move this up. Move this down. Then slightly towards here, so that this is a border is created. Okay, so let's hit the save, and let's call it PM score that I'm creating for YouTube. So YT. Alright, so it is saved. This much is saved. So you can see that we can basically produce whatever way we like, and this is all about just setting up the status. Now designing is where we need to do a little bit more alignment. If you see this and this is not aligned, so moving it up towards left and right and just making sure, yeah, things are coming perfectly. So this is a small alignment things. And then what do we need is basically a chart which is by project type. So what do we have is basically the month, project start date. So what I'll do is I'll choose this clustered column chart. So what do we have is the month, and in the month, then what I'll do is I have the project ID, which I will take it as the listing count. Okay, so I'm trying to bring it down. Let's do this up until here. So once we have done that, some small changes and then we should be good. Okay, so this much should be fine. First thing first, I'll try. I don't need y-axis. I don't need the title as well. For x-axis, I don't need title because I know it is month. It's clearly there. And then in the data label, we want to enable the data label since we have removed the y-axis. These are my columns. Okay, the columns should be of either very light blue color, right? So this is done, and then in the effects I will make sure that it is not coming. So now you can see slowly it is started coming. So title is present, project count, project start, count by month. Yeah, and let's put it like this. Okay, so we have this, and then in the visual the labels are something not coming. So over here we have the data labels, values, color. We have to make sure that it is white, properly it is appearing. And even for the x-axis, values, let's just make sure that they are properly appearing. Okay, so we have this chart now, which is clearly indicating that it is basically when the projects are starting more. If you want further customization, or let's say for the latest year, then what you can do is you can come over here, bring the year field over here, right? You have, I take basic filtering and I'll keep 2020, and this will show project start by month for 2020, right? So that is also, you can indicate that you are showing the latest for latest year. If you want both, you can choose both, and that way it will be overall count. So up to us what information we want to present, and later I will show you how you can basically, or I will give you some hints in terms of how you can make all of this information dynamic. All right, so I will try, this much is fine, and I'll take this, Control V, and I'll move this away here. Yeah, and then we can create the pie chart, sorry, the donut chart, and the donut chart is here. As you can see, properly it has captured the space. Okay, so this is by project status, and the values is the how many projects are there. So we can have whatever we want. So project count is basically this, and I'll keep it distinct count. And what do we have is basically the status. Status is cancelled or completed. Cancelled, completed, right? Then we can go slices, change the color, completed. How do we want to show completed? I don't know, maybe with light blue, and cancelled is red, right? So this should be fine. And then in the general effects, background is removed, right? Now what do we need is basically some legend and this information so that it is properly coming. So details label, values, color. Okay, so this value is coming now. Now slices is there, legend, text, this color is coming like this, and even for the title, so coming over here in general, title, project status, project completion, and cancelled status, and we will call it what, maybe this one. Yeah, so that way I have this third chart as well, right? So make sure that we have it. So we have created this KPI section, or the first section, like we have done it over here. Now the only thing is here I have chosen the small text, and we can make sure we can do that. As you can see, it's quite easy that we can change the font of this. So That is done. And then what do we need is basically a table, right? A table where we have the project status, or sorry, the project type table. We have expense, we have budget. Let's call budget first, and the utilization over here, right? We will bring this down, and that is our table, right? We'll just try, and we will try to basically style minimal. We can keep, there are a couple of styles that you can do, up to us. How do we want to do that? Alternate, I'm just telling you, flashy rows, something like that. So maybe this is done, and this is like minimal. The minimal is good, I believe, right? So that way you have the info. Also these lines, right? Grid, border. In the border you can choose this border so that it is all gone, not taking unnecessary eye attention over here. So we have this, right? Project type. We can call this in general title, budget, utilization by project type. Yeah, so we can then have this. Also I recommend that since it is white, just to get some better effect, let's put it this gray, transparency 50%, 70%, just so that you know that this is something which is there. Okay, so that's one. Let's copy this and let's try to create the next, where we will bring the project name as well, and I'll just keep it till maybe here. So project type, so we need project name, keep the project name, and we have the project name, project manager, project name, project, where is that again, the project name? No, project manager, what I meant, project name, project manager, and what else? Status, right? So let's bring the status. Okay, so once we have that, you can see that we can adjust the table and get the desired output. So you can see that in some around 30 minutes or so, we are able to produce a table like this, which is useful for our users to go and view the information. And then at the top, what do we need is basically the simple text box to indicate that that this is the project management dashboard. Project management dashboard 24. I think should be okay. So we have some more space, we can increase the size. So let's make it what, 32. 32 is good. And project management dashboard, and then filter, we can put it over here for project manager. So let's bring the slicer and let's keep it as project manager. In settings, slicer setting, rather than vertical list, we will say drop down, and we will bring this up like this, and we will going to put it over here. So I'll hide this, because our dashboard is almost ready, right? So right now all is selected. So now you can select whatever you want, right? And all the information is something you can get it as per your needs. So that's what I wanted to show you as to how you can go and create the similar dashboard what we created first in Tableau, but even before the Tableau, the inspiration was coming from here. Now the only thing, as you would see, is proper spacing. That's where, we may need to do a little bit of work. So I'm leaving it up to you that you want to give this. In my view, border sometimes helps more. So whatever you like. If you like spacing, then you have to reduce the size of this by selecting this and going to visualization, changing the callout value from 45 to let's say 30, right? And you can then create that. But I wanted to show you exactly similar type of dashboard so that your users are able to, get a good experience out of the dashboard that you're looking for. Now, what to do next? So that is something what basically I say that journey is not ending over here. There is a lot that can be done for this particular dashboard. So the first thing first is right now we are showing everything over here. Let's say your user is saying that I want to show only the latest month or the latest quarter or who knows the latest week. So how would you provide them the functionality to choose that information, latest week, latest month, latest quarter, things like those, right? That is number one. Number two is, let's say you have it project status, project start by month, but you want to give a dynamic behavior that to a user that you want to view last 5 month information. You are not interested in last 12, 8 or 10 months information, but last 10 months or last 15 months, who knows, right? So they may want to see the trends. So we have a dynamic parameter, let's say over here, where user can enter 10, 15, 5, whatever they want, and the bars are changing based on that, right? And then you have the project completion and cancelled status. So over here, if let's say you want to create a filter which is only specific to this pie chart, right? So for example, you have the multiple filters like location. So let's say location is something you want to keep it as a local filter to this chart. How would you do that, right? So this is another feature what I teach. Then you have the budget utilization by project type, or this budget utilization but project name and budget utilization. We need to change the title over here. So over here, what do we really want to do is, so you have the budget information, expense information, utilization, and so on and so forth. So what first thing first is you want to define a time period for this. Let's say a filter which is specific to these chart, like we have done it over here, specific to this chart or these two charts, maybe somewhere over here as a border, so that you can select any particular month or any particular quarter or year, and you should be able to filter that. That is one thing that you can do as a next level of advancement. Another level of advancement is the conditional formatting for the budget utilizations over here, right? And then another level of utilization or the analytics that you can produce out of it is the filter that is based on the budget utilization. For example, your user may want to look at, give me all those projects which is having less than 50% of budget utilization. So for example, in this case, rehabilitation and the transformer installation is what you have the 50% or less utilization, or something like project which are having 100% utilization, which is only this one. Same applies over here. You may be creating that filter for 100% utilization, below 50, or even 0% utilization. So that way user don't have to search one by one each row, and they are able to sort of filter it and create or get the maximum value out of the data that you are presenting. So that is something which I wanted to show you, how you can basically go and create it and get the maximum out of this dashboard, and something what I teach in my training as to how to get a complete control over your dashboard. So that is what I wanted to show you about this entire piece, and let me know if you have any suggestion, comments, feedback, and I will reply you. With that, thank you so much, and I'll meet you in the next video.